And we are live. Welcome everyone out there in LinkedIn Live universe. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, please pop any comments into the chat box or any questions for the panel. Those who are watching the playback live, and there's always so many of you. Hopefully you enjoy today, and do feel free for any questions or comments to reach out to myself or any of the panel members. But today's an exciting one for me, and I'll just give you a little bit of a context on why I've brought the Collar Group together today to have a chat to everyone. I've been following Ephram, or F, for quite some time, and when the Collar Group launched, I was really excited, as I always am, when people in my network launch a new endeavor or people start new roles. I always watch with a lot of interest, and I just kept seeing all this really cool stuff happening with the Collar Group. Just consistently this content coming out and just doing amazing things and winning awards and seeing initiatives that I hadn't heard of before, I hadn't seen with other recruitment agencies or internal teams or anywhere. And I reached out to F because I just reached out and said, mate, what's going on with you guys? You guys are doing really cool stuff and I want to know more. I was just really curious. And then I thought, well, do you know what? The rubber band community will be just as curious as me. So I thought I'd pull the team together. We've got Emma, Kerrie, and F from Collar Group, and we're going to talk about some of those things that I've noticed, and perhaps also what the Collar Group have in the pipeline. So it's a really exciting roundtable. So thank you so much, Emma, Kerrie, and F for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks,
My
Evan.
pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Wonderful to have you. So let's kick it off, maybe just to do a bit of an intro for anyone that hasn't met you out there. And just had a comment, best wishes and a great day and a hello. Thanks so much, Ladiful. Lovely to meet you, and thanks for joining. So I'll go around the table. We might start with the Chief F there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your career, and a little bit about why you launched Collar.
Fantastic, thanks. Yeah, so originally from the UK, as you could tell. Obviously came across to Australia as a backpacker after never working in recruitment before, and mine and Kerrie's stories are very similar that way, in a sense that you kind of fall into recruitment as a lot of people do. And I'm actually over in Sydney at the moment, so it's great to be back on in my old stomping ground where it all began all those many moons ago. So I got my first job in recruitment. It was a telemarketing position, and I did that for a couple of weeks before putting my hand up to volunteer, shall I say, to have a go at doing recruitment. So 360 recruitment, end to end. And the directors at the time said, absolutely, you can have a go, but unfortunately we can't afford to pay you, so it'd have to be commission only. So I did that. I did that for a couple of years. I was quite fortunate. I was very successful at recruitment. I think maybe going from working on the Harbour Bridge, which was one of my first jobs in Sydney, doing the bridge climb, earning $13.50 an hour, to obviously having the opportunity of earning 50% of all GP that I invoiced, was certainly very lucrative for me as a backpacker back then. And in my first month in recruitment, I did just shy of 40,000. So for my first paycheck to be close to about $20,000, it would have taken me months to obviously have the opportunity to earn that in a standard 9-to-5 job. So look, fell into recruitment that way, commission only for 2 years, and then set up my first agency at the age of 26. And that was a company called Design and Construct, which both myself and Kerrie worked at. We grew that business to Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and London, and then basically went into, I guess, partnerships, if you like, or whether it's mentoring or joint ventures, or co-founded a number of other successful recruitment agencies. And then from there, I've been in the industry now 22 years, so a few more grey hairs and a different type of haircut these days. But yeah, absolutely. Look, still as passionate about recruitment as I was when I first got into it, and I think that's probably why we're here at Collar. Obviously the industry knowledge and experience that I've gained, over the last 20 years, founding or co-founding multiple recruitment agencies, award-winning, have all been very successful. And to bring all that knowledge, all that experience, now under the collar talent group is certainly something that is, again, one of our biggest competitive advantages. And I'm not saying that we always did it right in the other agencies. There's certainly things and lessons learned, and obviously things that we could have done differently. And Collar Talent Group gives us the perfect platform to really put all that knowledge, all that experience, into very good use. And Collar Group obviously was founded on the basis that I now want to leave a legacy for my little boy Finn, who myself and my wife found out we're expecting on the Tuesday. On the Wednesday, I resigned from another startup that I was part of and the second largest shareholder in. Politely gave back my equity, resigned. On the way home in that car journey, which is about a 45-minute car journey from Adelaide Terrace in Perth to my home, decided to come up with the name Collar Talent Group, and contacted JobAdder, and obviously had them set up basically a JobAdder account for me. And the very next day launched Collar Talent Group, and with the intention of, as I say, scaling a successful recruitment agency, people first type of vision, and with an agency that is really focusing on the quality work-life balance of our internal employees. Because I'm a big believer, mate, if we get that down pat and we can attract the right talent into our business first and foremost, well, then the service offering at the other side, the experience for the candidates, the experience for the clients, is all going to come based on the knowledge and experience. So as of today, we're currently at 113 headcount, 11 offices around Australia. First invoice went out in October 2021. So in a nutshell, that's a little bit about Collar and obviously where we've come from. And but couldn't do it without the incredible team that we have around me. I mean, in fact, Emma, who's on the call today, was actually my first employee at Collar Talent Group. Emma's worked alongside me before in another startup. Her visionary, her branding, her marketing is exceptional. And for me, I'm actually dyslexic, and I'm very graphic. I'm very picture. I need to see something, kind of ideas brought to life. And Emma's done an absolutely incredible job. I'm sure she's got a few more grey hairs. Not that she had any before she started working with me, but I work at a very fast pace, and I'm always coming up with new ideas, new suggestions. And Emma's really helped bring those ideas to life. And again, is arguably created one of the most prominent brands in Australia, and that the industry's seen for many years to come. Now, again, I can't take any credit for obviously all the hard work and dedication, and now Emma's team obviously are rolling out obviously again her vision, and basically to take Collar into new heights, and I'm sure that'll come out obviously further on in the conversation. But in a nutshell, mate, we've created again arguably one of the fastest, or we are officially the fastest growing recruitment agency in Australia, and there's a number of accolades and accreditations behind that. We're officially the most accredited recruitment agency in Australia in 2022, and LinkedIn announced obviously that we were officially the fastest growing agency in 2022 as well. So yeah, pretty exciting times, and a lot of hard work, certainly over the last 18 months.
Well, mate, congratulations! What an awesome success story, and great example of an Australian-run recruitment agency doing amazing things and growing so rapidly. It's really exciting. What I love that you spoke about there is, and it comes up a lot. I think I'm very well networked with recruiters, as I'm sure you all are as well. But that falling into recruitment, and I myself fell into recruitment. I was a florist. I had a very different background. My partner was like you; he was a backpacker in Australia and moved into recruitment that way. I feel that that's something that we should all be really proud of. I love that about the recruitment industry, because there is so much diversity in terms of our skills and our talent and what we bring to the table and how we learn from each other. Kerrie, I'd love to hear a little bit about your background, how you moved into recruitment, and your role with the Collar Group.
Yeah, sure. So I am from Ireland originally, Dublin, but lived in the UK for about 8 years prior to moving to Australia. So I was actually pursuing a semi-professional football career in the UK.
Wow.
And yeah, coming towards the end of that, when I decided I wanted to move to Australia, I joined a recruitment firm in the UK, and I actually started as an associate. So again, just kind of fell in through mutual friends of mine, and they were like, "Oh, you should give it a go. I think it'd be something you'd be really good at." And I had previously worked in call center and sales roles before as well. So yeah, it just kind of fell in that way, and was very lucky. The business I actually did work for in the UK had like that kind of, you know, good training and stuff behind me. Being an associate, I was completely new to obviously the recruitment world, and just kind of started to feel the love for it and the passion, and just kind of loved this, you know, I'm very sort of results driven and
Mm.
competitive, you can say, just due to sports and stuff. So yeah, I just absolutely loved it, and it's such a sociable job as well, and all the kind of nice stuff that comes alongside of it. So yeah, when I moved to Australia, obviously I joined Design and Construct, which was Ephram's old business. So I was very lucky to obviously join that company, and that was end of 2017. I moved to Sydney, so I had about like a year and a half or 18 months behind me in the recruitment world, and yeah, obviously from there, just obviously worked through Design and Construct. I think I was there for almost 3 years, and then I also was a part of a previous business. Just mentioned being the second largest shareholder in as well, and yeah, obviously throughout that joined Collar. Here I am now, so I think almost like 8 years in, I'm still here in recruitment and just loving it. Obviously my role is slightly different now from when I started in recruitment, so have moved into a training and development role. So
Mm.
currently the training and development director at Collar. So everything from a training perspective runs through myself. And it's just that passion I have in terms of like the coaching side of it, mentoring. You know, I've worked across various different industries. Just the knowledge I've gained over the years of obviously working along people like side Ephram and other leaders and stuff that I've learned so much from. And yeah, just at Collar Group, it's just a prime example like that we do have opportunities for people to move up. You know, growth is a big thing in our business as well. And you know, if you can kind of prove to show you've got that kind of commitment and motivation, and there's no reason why you wouldn't be given any opportunity. So yeah, just very grateful and thankful to be in the position that I'm in Collar Group. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
No, that's wonderful. What a great story. And I can't wait to hear more about the training and development at Collar. We'll be covering that off in a moment. But thanks, Kerrie. What a great journey you've been on. And
Thanks.
Emma, likewise, tell us all about your journey and how you came to be part of the Collar Group.
Well, thank you. Hi, guys. So as Ephram said before, and thanks for the praise, Ephram. Appreciate it. I'm the brand and marketing director here. So a lot with what Ephram was saying, I think Ephram and I align very well with, he can tell me a kind of story he's trying to picture, and I can really bring that to life with my skills. So when he did ring me up from, you know, day one saying he wanted to create this brand, I could picture what he wanted. So yeah, I'm the face behind the brand, but it's Ephram's vision day in, day out, always bringing that to life and helping out where I can, but definitely a few more grey hairs, as Ephram said, that's for sure.
Love it. And it's, I think, you know, it's a recruitment thing. We all say that, you know, grey hairs, it's the champagne and razor blades. That's why we love it, right? You know, yeah, absolutely.
you keep telling yourself that, mate.
I know, right? You know, I've got to come up with an excuse, right? So I'm actually going to go straight in with you, Kerrie, because I'm really passionate about talent technology, and you know, one of the things that I was learning when researching Collar is you know what an enviable, I suppose, tech stack that you guys have, that you have available for both your consultants and also for your candidates.
Yeah.
So I'd really love to hear a little bit more about it, and for you to share that with our audience today, what that looks like, and what that looks like. Yeah,
no, sure. So yeah, look, we are very lucky to have the tech stack that we do have at Collar Group. So I guess, you know, it's like everyone, we kind of want to have the work smarter, not harder type of thing, but also in a sense, everyone's kind of becoming big on automation now as well, and we've got a lot of systems that we use which they're integrated into each other. So again, it just makes that streamlined process, but also it makes it like quicker and easier as well for the consultants and the sales floor. You know, when they're obviously dealing with candidates and clients, like we're all about speed to market, and that's the kind of day and age we're living in now. Is, you know, it's speed to everything. So yeah, it's just overall, you know, automation, integration, a smoother process. And I think as well, if you've got that kind of up to speed technology, the flashy tech stack, you know, it does attract more candidates in that sense, because it's making their lives easier when they're going through like an onboarding process with you. And particularly when we're covering everything from, you know, safety and compliance and stuff like that, the quicker, you know, our systems are and the more up to date our systems are, then you know, the quicker we're able to do our jobs and be that kind of number one go-to agency out there. So yeah, we're very, very lucky with the tech we do have, and Ephram's a big believer in obviously the tech stack as well, and always, you know, looking at what other tech do we have or what can we have to, you know, again, sort of make us stay at that number one or, you know, favorite agency across Australia, and just a smoother process overall.
Yeah, awesome. And I think it's you're absolutely right. I suppose when you're looking at you know, an agency to work with or an internal role, you know, the talent tech stack is always it has
100%.
become you know, a very, very important unique selling point for consultants, because you do want to work smarter, not harder, right? It's
100%. Absolutely. But I think the thing is as well, like being a consultant myself, like, and I think I can say this speaking on most people's behalf, like the last thing you want to do is like all this admin stuff and, you know,
no.
manually doing it as well. So I think, again, like just looking at that smart aspect of how can we get this done quicker, but obviously, you know, a streamlined process where we're getting it done correctly as well. And yeah, I think, you know, that's a really key thing these days. The less systems we have to log into, the better. And you know, again, it's just kind of that overall smarter look. And again, we're onboarding, like we're, you know, a high volume business where we're recruiting and onboarding candidates, you know, numbers of candidates from weekly. So I think for us, it's just really important to, you know, make sure that we're kind of out there and we're number one in that game. And, you know, we've got the fastest, smoothest process going to keep us at the top of our game, basically.
Yeah, and let's not forget, recruiters tend to be really crap at admin, right? There's other things that we want to be doing, so you know, that's a unique.
Well, it doesn't. Admin doesn't always necessarily make the money, does it? So, like, you know, obviously everyone's focused on, you know, placements and stuff. But yeah, it's just that overall, like I said, the world's changing now, where everything is becoming way more automated and integrated. And yeah, the less systems, the better. And you know, everything works nicely together for us. And obviously, I'm responsible for training everyone on the systems when they come in as well. So yeah, and I just love it because it's great to just see the process and obviously see people doing the process as well. So
amazing. And look, speaking of, I suppose, unique selling points and value adds internally for consultants that might be interested in working for Collar, or those that do work for Collar, like, Emma, tell me, what else do you have in place? Like, why has Collar become such a fast-growing agency? Why is it scaled so quickly to 113? What is it that's attracting people and making people stay? I suppose, you know, tell me all about it.
Great question. I think there's definitely a few different things in the recipe there to help us that. My personal favorite, I think, is definitely our culture. So a great example of that is, you know, the 3 p.m. finishes on Fridays. So I'm based in the Melbourne team here, and every Friday, it's not compulsory or anything like that, but we definitely, me and the team, go down to our local and have a beverage, and it's just, you know, a really great way to unwind as a team, but to also connect on like a different level and build great friendships. So, you know, having that tight knit with everyone and throughout all the different offices in Australia. So Ephram did say before that we have 11 offices Australia wide. So like, just incredible. Like a great example of that as well, like last year my partner and I, Jess, we were living in Adelaide and we decided to move to Melbourne just for a bit of a city change, and rang F and he was like, yeah, great, there's an office opening up in Melbourne, so that's going to be really handy. So for all of that sort of stuff of work-life balance, you know, if you want to go hot desk in another state because you spent the weekend there and maybe you're there on Monday, like you have that available. Or if family commitments come up and you need to go to a different state or move or anything like that, like there is that flexibility there, which I think is so important and so handy to have, just to know like you always have assurance within your workplace and everything like that. But yeah, there's a few to list, but another great one would be the 6 weeks off every year. So that includes our it's pretty good. But our 10 mental health days. Also, you get Christmas off and your birthday off. The birthday is probably my favorite because I fall on a long weekend, so I get 4 days off. So I cannot complain with that. And then for consultants, so, you know, the monthly commissions with no thresholds, working from home policy, bringing your dog to work, and also probably one of the most important ones I think I find, and, you know, it's the way we all need to be, it's that we're a very inclusive company. So, you know, every company, it's expected we should be inclusive, but to actually feel that as an employee, to know you're safe, to know, like, you know, you're in a progressive workplace, you're not going to be judged from, you know, because you're a different walk of life. I think that is such an important point of coming to work and, you know, keeps people there. Like all these things added up just creates a great company culture and vibe. And yeah, I couldn't be prouder to work at Collar, and my partner works right alongside me. So, you know, some days it's harder, but it's great to be able to share that connection with her. And actually same with Kerrie, she works alongside her partner too. So,
Yep.
you know, there's a few of us, and I'm gay, Kerrie's gay, and you know, there's everything's equal. There's nothing different there. So it's really great.
Amazing. And what it, I guess, to describe the way, I mean, it's belonging. You know, I'm the same. And you know, I've worked, you know, internally most recently, but I've worked in agency, and I'm part of the queer community as well. And there have been times in agencies where I only spent a small amount of time with that agency because I didn't feel that I could bring my whole self to work, and I didn't feel that I belonged. So everything you talk about feeds into that as well, whether it's flexibility, whether it's that work-life integration, whether it's bringing your dog to work, having the opportunity to work from home, to be able to work from other states, the culture and going to the pub for a bevy, just to be able to be yourself is so important. And I absolutely love that. That's amazing. What a great, that, I mean, there's your unique selling point. Be yourself at Collar. I love it. Love it. Kerrie, tell me on the other side, because I think it's becoming more and more important for candidates to feel that way as well, or for candidates to, you know, understand what your unique selling points are, and what that would mean for them, what a unique selling point is for them to be able to connect with a role and to be represented by Collar, and what those value adds would look like for them. So tell me it from a candidate perspective.
Yeah, sure. So there's a number of things, obviously, I guess that can kind of make us a bit different out there in the market. So we've actually got some consultants that work 8 and 6. So they do 8 days on, 6 days off. So for us, that means there's always coverage over the weekends, whether it be clients calling in or candidates. So there's someone always there on the end of the phone, which I think is really important because we work across a lot of industries that it's not just Monday to Friday. So it doesn't just stop there on a Friday afternoon. You know, we work across various sectors like aged care, mining, medical, facilities management, so on. And so, you know, there is people on site for us over the weekend, and they need to be able to have that contact and know that there's someone there. Also, I guess with our model internally as well, we've got like dedicated account managers. So people have like a go-to person where they don't get passed from pillar to post, which, you know, can happen in agencies. So yeah, just having that like kind of direct communication line, I think, is key as well, because people don't want to be ringing up, getting passed around, you know, especially if there's an issue, or, you know, if they just want to talk about a role or something, they know who they can go to. And I think as well, obviously with our EAP program, like our employee assistance program, you know, having that available to all of our workforce, but not just the workforce, their families too. So, you know, and it's 24/7 access and completely confidential and free. So, and that could be, you know, if anyone's struggling with anything around, you know, whether it's mental health, like nutrition, finance, relationships, whatever it is that they're going through, there's someone there that they can speak to, and they can always speak to us at Collar Group as well. But yeah, I just think that's really good for us to have available. And as I said, it's not just to the workforce, it's to their families as well, and obviously our internal staff as well. And I think just, you know, with our contractors and stuff, obviously it's weekly pay for them, and that's great. And also things like our accreditations, which F kind of touched on very briefly, but you know, having those accreditations and for the candidates to know that they're working with a business that are, you know, credible across many different areas, I think that's like a real reassurance thing as well for the candidates. So look, there's the list could go on and on, but I think just we are a candidate focused business, and you know, they are number one priority for us, and the safety and well-being of our workforce is like at the forefront of our business at all times. So, and obviously the diversity and inclusion as well, that's a key thing, like Emma touched on it. That's not just for our internal, it's external as well. You know, the contractors that we have working for us, they are a part of our Collar family as well. And you know, you probably would have seen on LinkedIn, people get care packages given to them when they start working with us as well. So, and that's just a nice little way to say thank you, and we appreciate you and your commitment to and trusting in Collar Group as well to find you that employment, you know.
Yeah, it's wonderful, that word care, I suppose. I mean, I'm a little bit blown away that EAP, that your EAP program is available, A, to your candidates, but B, to their families. I mean, how long does that go for? Like, is that an ongoing?
Just ongoing, yeah, just like an
Oh,
ongoing tool that we provide. Yeah, I think it's just so important. Like, um, yeah, it's just, that they have got that to go, like someone to go to, or, us as a business to lean on. As I said, it's a care factor. Like, we treat everyone equally. At the end of the day, we're all, I suppose you can say, one big, whole back collar group, internal,
mm.
externally. So yeah.
I absolutely love it. I think it's a really great example of, I suppose, giving back, because you're making a
Yeah,
difference in
100%.
people's lives as well.
That's
Not
it.
only, and that's a big reason why a lot of us are drawn to
Mm,
recruitment, because we
yeah,
want to make a difference, but it's going beyond just
yeah,
finding a job. You're actually providing
100%.
financial support, or, nutritional support, as you said, so health and well-being.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. And you build relationships with people as well. So and that's with recruitment, that's just, part and parcel of the job. So you do get to know your candidates on a personal level, or, not just a professional level as well, because you build that relationship over time and stuff. So yeah, it's just a complete care factor. And I think it's a great thing that we do have, yeah. So it's brilliant.
Awesome. So, if I'm keen to hear a little bit more, I mean, you also do a lot to support the local communities. So tell me a little bit about the community support programs that you have in place.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate. Look, being a recent father myself, it's all about grassroots. It's about giving back. And again,
Mm,
you look at the size of our business in comparison to, again, some of the top 5 recruitment brands globally. And it amazes me, and I'm not going to call any of those businesses out, but it amazes me that, where's all their profits going? Clearly, they're just going back to the shareholders. They're not being reinvested back into the business. They're certainly not being reinvested back into training, to development, to marketing, nor are they being reinvested back into grassroots. So for me, being new to Perth, being new to the WA market, I've only been there for 2 years now. For me, I want to be surrounded and also educate myself, and also my son and generations to come, just in regards to the indigenous side of Australia, and basically
mm,
the real feel good factor about helping disadvantaged kids, disadvantaged I guess families as a whole. So one of the strategies that we've done at Collar is to really partner with some grassroots sports. So things like the Bicton Cricket Club. So we're a sponsor of a cricket club, again to support obviously the club, and obviously to help them out financially. We also sponsor a AFL club as well, which is the Kinross Joondalup in Kinross AFL team. There's about 450 kids that play in this, obviously play in this club. So anything we could do to support, guide, mentor. On top of that, we've just signed on with the with Victoria AFL, and that's actually going to be an absolute, just such an incredible project for us to be involved in, where we're literally talking thousands of children are going to be, I guess, donning the Collar brand, shall we say. But also there's so much more that we're going to be giving back to that in regards to career benchmarking, interview techniques, advice, what is it you want to do in your career when you leave school.
mm.
And really kind of educating the younger generations about the opportunities that are out there. So at the moment we do a number of free career fairs and job fairs, where again it's all about that education piece, about giving back to the local communities. We've recently sponsored a local Aboriginal artist who's actually come into our business and actually painted a mural, which has now become centerpiece of all our offices. And there's actually a really big brand component to that as well, where we're actually going to be using some of that artwork on some of our branded on our PPE, which is our protective gear, which we provide all of our candidates. And again, just to bring that indigenous kind of approach, or basically that education piece back into, I guess, well, not even back in, but just into the conversation. On top of that, we've recently sponsored the Western Force. Now, I know the Western Force really isn't at your grassroots level. People are going to be saying that, but for us, there's so much more to just sponsoring the Western Force. So, you can imagine a number of these professional players. A lot of them may only get a part-time contract, so they still need to find work. You've also got players who, unfortunately, will be coming to the end of their career, and let's be honest, they probably have no idea about what they're going to do. So for us, it's about helping that transition period, and again, that education piece. These are the opportunities that you could potentially get yourself into, or if you were to look at joining the Western Force, these are the opportunities that could help you financially kind of get and take your career to the new heights. And that for me is something that I'm very passionate about, and as are the rest of the team. Em's done an incredible job. Kerrie's been involved in basically in the process as well. And the business as a whole is all about, I guess, supporting supporting our local communities, and that goes back to my little dig about these large 5 corporate or global recruitment firms that just don't seem to be doing any of this. We sponsor horse racing events. Last year we were the only recruitment agency to sponsor 2 of them in WA. And that's Zero to Hero. So Zero to Hero is our charity of choice. But then also we did a lot of work around Fly In Fly Out Happiness, where we're also a sponsor there as well, around mental health initiatives in the fly in fly out industry. So some are industry related, and other ones are really just about all that feel good factor. And I think for us, that really just it's part of our DNA. Like, excuse the French, but we do genuinely give a shit at Collar. We don't just give a shit about people's mental health, well-being, financial. It's everything. Like, it's no one problem. No one solution to this. We've got to basically tackle it head on. So, like Em touched on, the 3 p.m. finish. Well, the method to the madness about the 3 p.m. finish across Australia. Is, again, being a recent dad, family time is so important to me, and weekends is really the only time we get to, unless you're one of the people that's working 8 and 6s for us, or some of the part-timers that are working weekends as well. That's our downtime. That's our time to reset. You mentioned earlier, the quote in recruitment, which is so prevalent, is the champagne and razor blades. Well, the champagne and razor blades is relevant to the making a placement, not making a placement. Right? What is inherently forgotten about in recruitment is the stress and the anxiety that comes with this career and comes in this profession. So being a big mental health champion and advocate myself, I want to make sure that the team at Collar are doing everything within their power, and I'll do everything within our power from a leadership point of view to manage that burnout. And things like the 3 p.m. finish absolutely work. We did actually a really cool it was in everyone's calendar for 3:30 last Friday. And what you had to do at 3:30, your alarm went off and you had to stop, pause, and just take a picture of what you're up to at 3 p.m. at 3:30 on a Friday at Collar. And there's going to be some, again, sharing that with our industry networks and connections. But there's some real powerful things in that. When you've got people from everything from walking the dog, riding a horse, spending time with the children, cooking, I'm doing some gardening, and like there's just an eclectic, right? You can imagine 100 plus different ideas and livelihoods obviously on the go, but the feedback that we receive from the team is just so incredible. We unfortunately we are still a new business, so we'd love to be able to help out a lot more charities than what we actually do, but again, there's only so many hours in the day, but it's certainly something that we will never lose sight of, and something that I want to make sure that the Collar brand is actually synonymous with, again, that we do give a shit, we do give back to our local communities. We're not just giving it lip service, and we actually follow through on that. I mean, again, the Western Force is going to be incredible for us because we want to help them drive their yearly supporters or game match obviously supporters. We're going to be giving away a number of tickets. So as part of our package, we actually got the tickets not for us as a business, but because we want to give that out. We want to basically again get families to go and watch a Western Force game who might necessarily not be able to afford to go to a game. I guess that's where the EAP comes into it as well, which Em touched on. Which Em touched on. Our EAP, the reason why we open up to our candidates' household is, again, mental health. Let's be honest, if one person is struggling with mental health, then the likelihood is that whole household is going to be struggling with mental health. Right? It's just a given. So for us, again, we want to try and address that. We want to do something about it because we can, because we're in a fortunate position where we can actually, pass on that knowledge, that experience, that expertise, which is out of our realm. The beautiful thing about that, it's actually done with a company called Drake International, which is obviously a global international firm. They actually have a subsidiary called Drake Workwise, and the team at Drake Workwise have been incredible. Hypothetically, if somebody was to call up the number and then call back again, they would actually get the same counsellor every time. And I think that's something that is really, again, it is pretty cool, mate, because the last thing somebody wants to be doing is sharing their story or their current situation, then having to repeat that again with somebody else. So that's something that's, again, a bit of a game changer for us. And that's one of the many reasons I think why Collar's been so inundated with recruiters wanting to join our business. I mean, I was doing a report end of last week. We've had 64 recruiters reach out to us directly since the beginning of 23. 64.
Amazing.
That is an extraordinary number of experienced recruiters within Australia tapping us on the shoulder going, hey, we love what you're doing. We've had some of the largest accounts in Australia reach out to us directly and say, hey, we love what you're doing around your EAP, around your mental health, around all your initiatives. Do you want to come and recruit for us? Now, this isn't a tender process. This is literally an invitation. Do we want to go and partner with them? And I think for us, that is what is so important for us as a business, and why we're working with so many of the largest accounts in Australia is we're changing the way people recruit and the way we source candidates, the systems, the processes, the technology. And our tagline is we recruit a better way. We really do recruit a better way, because we're not, yes, it's about making money. Let's be honest. We're in business, right? There's the commercial element. But again, never losing sight of that. We actually give a shit, and we will do everything within our power to make it right for our candidates and obviously for our clients. And that candidate-centric approach, where again, you're trying to look at what are their pain points, where are their issues. You know, people are attracted to the flying flight industry because it's such a lucrative industry. Well, people join and they might never have worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 77 hours a week, 2-on-1 roster, working 2 weeks on, 1 week off. They get paid all this money and they've got no idea what to do with it, right? So that financial planning is a free service that we offer, and is a real game changer for us, because, you know, we can then actually help people go. And I'm looking back now over the last 12 months, we've got people in the business who've gone and bought brand new cars for the first time in their life. People are buying the first properties. People are buying the second or third property. And I think for me, that's what makes us all tick as a business. It's all about sharing the wins together.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there are so many things that you touched on there, but I think that the most and that are amazing. I think the most important thing here is, you know, people are drawn to purpose-led organizations now. You know, we don't want to work for, you know, you talked about those big players that sometimes can feel quite soulless, because you can't see, even though you in recruitment, you are being rewarded financially when you're successful, but you do want to be part of an organization that is giving back. And you do want to feel that you're making a difference, not only in the lives of candidates, but in the lives of the communities that we serve as well. And, you know, totally. And I would think that's why you're getting, you know, so many consultants reaching out to you, because we want more than just work now. You know, we want to make a difference.
I think, look, and I think COVID's had a big part to play in that. Like through no fault of their own, most of the larger global recruitment firms, again, I'm a big believer in this, and I've said this time and time again, there's definitely a changing of the guard in the top 5. They can't retain the staff anymore. The career progression is capped. You know, there's already directors there's already state managers, there's already, you know, so that, again, people's career hit a plateau with these top agencies. And for us, we're all about looking at individuals. I mean, again, out of the top 2 agencies, I'm going to be very careful what I say. Top 2 agencies globally, we've got over 150 years worth of knowledge and experience outside of those businesses. In fact, outside of those 2 agencies, we've got the most amount of experience than any other recruitment agency in Australia. Now, we've got over 400 years worth of recruitment knowledge and experience under the Collar Talent Group brand. Like, it's incredible. So just going back to what you were touching on with Kerrie in regards to what is our point of difference for our candidates, well, it's the experience. Like, it's those candidates. It's the experience that this together as a team, and we're collating all this information at the moment, and it keeps changing daily. But the number of candidates that our business has placed throughout their whole career is literally it's north of 100,000 candidates, right? And I can't give you the exact number, but if you look at how much time our business has spent interviewing, speaking to candidates, listening to their pain points, dealing with counter offers, and then listening to people get a counter offer, and they, you know, we've given them an offer which is the best thing since sliced bread. They'll go back to their employer will then make a counter offer, you know, and then we're having to educate them. You imagine how many conversations we've had like that as a business. So that again is one of our biggest competitive advantages. Like we do have a genuine care towards our candidates. And again, you know, you look at our replacement guarantee. Not that I really need to share this, but our replacement guarantee is up to a total of 12 months. So, you know, competitors are going, why are you offering a 12-month replacement guarantee? Well, if our candidates aren't sticking around for 12 months in a permanent full-time role, and quite frankly, we're all in the wrong job. little job, let's be honest,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
the method to the madness there is not only does it kind of guarantee our clients basically, that we're in it for the long haul and our knowledge and our experiences, we're willing to put our guarantee on the line for that. But from a candidate point of view, it also says that the clients that we're representing don't have revolving doors. That if we're about to basically offer you an opportunity and you've been very happily employed for the last 15, 20 years, well, we're guaranteeing you for 12 months. So obviously what we're telling you is actually gospel or as near as damn it, so again, and I think just to kind of summarize, the Collar Talent Group, the Recruit a Better Way, it's about value adds. It's about unique selling points. It's about how can we offer a service that nobody else in the industry is offering. Can you believe, mate, we are the only recruitment agency in Australia that offers that free. We're the only agency in Australia
as I said, I was
offers
amazed
daily
by it.
pay runs. We will pay a candidate every single day if the client confirms that they're happy to sign a timesheet every single day.
Wow.
Again, it's
amazing.
speaking to our candidates. What's your issues? What's your concerns? Well, I'm paid. I'm on a monthly basis pay at the moment, and physically, I can't afford to resign because I can't afford to wait another month before I get paid. Well, let's go to that with a solution. Let's do daily pays. Let's do weekly, fortnightly, whatever the case may be. Investors in people, again, just going back onto, I'm on a bit of a roll now, mate. You've got my excitement going. Again, we're the only recruitment agency in the whole of Australia. Now, this is baffling, right? Investors in People is arguably one of the globally one of the most recognized accreditations any business can get. We've got 2 accreditations through Investors in People. Both we received gold accreditations, which is an incredible for a startup. One of them is we invested our people, as in we invested our general of our internal employees. We invest in their career, their personal life, their professional life, you name it, we invest in them. And we've now been, again, the only recruitment agency with gold accreditation. The other accreditation is we invest in the well-being of our accreditation. So again, everything that we're talking about on this show, and everything that you see from us from the outside looking in has been through multiple audits, a 6-month trail, basically 6-month audit trail all the way through, where they take me out the equation because obviously I'm biased and I'm going to sell my own business. And they literally speak to every single person in our business. Is what F's saying true? In this scenario, how were you treated? In this scenario, how did they support you? So the fact that we're the only recruitment agency who can boast that we've got those 2 accreditation is huge for us from a talent attraction, but also from a client and candidate generation point of view, right? Again, because it's, well, we're not just saying it, it's actually official. And for us, that's so important for us. We've got a 3-year accreditation with Investors in People. We've also recently got our ISO accreditation, so quality and safety. So like Kerrie touched on, our candidates are our number 1 priority. Health and safety is at the forefront of everything we do. We have one of the, touch wood, we have one of the strongest and most successful safety records in recruitment in Australia today, right now. We're just about to clock up 600 days LTI free. So lost time injury, basically, again, it's so huge in the world of recruitment, especially in contracting, where you've got no control really over your candidates. They're all supervised, but basically by your client. So again, it's, it's been a really fun ride over the last 18 months. And we're really excited about what the next 2023 has in store with all the other accreditations that we're currently looking at. But we'll never lose sight of the fact of the grassroots sponsorships, the grassroots levels. We give a shit, the candidate-centric approach, and most importantly, their experience dealing with collar. Tell me any other recruitment agency in Australia that inside its first 12 months manages to clock up at over 300 5-star Google reviews.
It's incredible. It's absolutely
it would be unheard
incredible.
of, right? It's and do you know what, mate? It's so fun. It's so much fun having, working with these 2 legends every single day, and the rest of basically the collar business makes me what gets me out of bed every day.
Oh, I love it. And look, I'm a firm believer, mate. I mean, what you're saying there, and I love the pride and I love the passion, and so you should be. But I'm a firm believer in, if you do the right thing by people in the right way, then your business will be successful. At the end of the day, if call it karma, right? I don't know. But when you are doing so much great work for people with so much care at the heart of what you're doing.
Sorry, mate. Ed, did you hear that as well, Ed? Was that call it karma or was it collar karma? Because there's definitely a market. There's a marketing tagline in there somewhere. Collar karma. Collar karma. Love it.
I heard that too.
Speaking of which, look, I am,
I
we're
thought he
talking
was
about
doing a play on words.
I know. Well, there you go. It was Call It Karma. Let's call it Collar Karma. It's your next campaign.
Collar Karma. Love it.
Love it. Love it. It sounds like a Karma Chameleon as well, doesn't it? Right? We're getting into Culture Club now. But anyway, look, and look, congratulations. We didn't talk about it because I know you're probably modest, but your CEO award as well, well deserved. Congratulations, and amazing work. We are almost out of time, so I'm just going to go around the room, and this has been so exciting. But let's talk about the future. What's next for Collar Group? Emma, you tell me what's on the radar. What can people expect to see more of?
Oh, there's actually so many things. So I think this year our big focus is a lot what Ephram spoke about and getting in touch with our grassroots. So really giving back to the local community. And yeah, really getting involved. There's a lot of things in marketing. So we recently did an ad over in WA, which was a really exciting time for us in the marketing group just to get our name out there a little bit more. And that will be played at the Western Force Games. But yeah, there's just a lot of different things. Yeah, it's very exciting time. So me and the marketing team had a lot of fun getting that together. But I think, yeah, this year we really want to focus on getting in touch with our community. What more can we do? What more can we give? And yeah, just keep taking it day by day. I would love to start up a Collar Conversations podcast. So yeah, just in my spare time. So yeah, as you would know. But yeah, there's a lot of small things happening. But I think the big thing for us is definitely getting more in touch with the local community.
Yeah. And speaking of communities, a big thank you, Kerrie and Emma and all the Collar Group team for being so supportive of our community of rubber bands. We were set up with, at the core of what we do to provide mental health support and a safe place for people to reach out that work in recruitment because it's a challenging industry, and for an agency to look beyond the fact that their competitors are going to be in the community as well and actually say, hey, I love what you're doing and supporting us is really great. So thanks so much. We're forever grateful for that. And Kerrie, what does the future look like for Collar Group from your perspective?
Yeah, just off the back, obviously, of what Emma and Effa touched on, just getting in touch with the community and really just honing into that. But I think as well, eventually, we would love to be a global agency as well, not just here in Australia. So I think down the future lines, we would like to be recognised as that, and obviously the favourable. But just obviously from my role, training perspective and stuff, we're kind of working on some stuff in the pipeline and behind the scenes implementing a new training system for all staff as well. So that's going to be exciting, obviously, and yeah, just continuing obviously that growth as well, and just keep on building on what we're doing at the moment. I think if we just keep doing that, then there's just going to be no stopping us. And yeah, it's just really exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's probably quite frightening to think how much more successful we can be. So it's great.
Oh, never be frightened of it. No, it's exciting. So
yeah, it's amazing.
So are you hiring, and how many more offices are you opening? Tell me, what does the future look like for you, mate?
Yeah, look, I guess one of our favourite sayings at Collar is we're only as good as our last placement. So for us, as long as there's the demand and the clients, again, are reaching out to us left, right and centre, obviously to recruit, it's amazing, mate. Literally over the last 3 months, how many clients have reached out to us and actually dropped their current panel providers because of our reputation and obviously our numbers and what we've been able to achieve. The growth plan is basically, well, over the next 2 weeks is reach 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. That's the goal and the aspiration, which again would be arguably one of the fastest growing brands, and obviously on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
The business will continue to scale at the rate as the market dictates to us, I guess, is the easiest way for me to kind of articulate that. We're very fortunate to be working with arguably some of the largest accounts in Australia. What we don't want to do as a business is lose sight of where we came from, which has been very humble, very down to earth, very grounded. The opportunities that we've been presented by these companies to represent them and partner with them and become their recruitment partner of choice is not something that I take lightly, and something that I me personally and the rest of the team are very passionate about and feel very fortunate of. So first and foremost, it's about not promising basically, and then under delivering. And that's where these new hires are coming from, is ultimately want to make sure that the accounts have the support, the guidance, the mentoring, the resourcing, the recruitment, and the knowledge behind that. So again, we will continue to scale and grow as the industry's, demand. In saying that, we just launched government beginning of this year, headed up by Alfred Wilkinson. Alfred's arguably one of the most successful government recruitments in Australia over the last decade, was instrumental basically in his previous role. And we're very fortunate to have a really good leader in our business who's, just come in and hit the ground running. So a government's not something that we've done a great deal of, but obviously now really involved in investing into that moving forward. We've also got the GTO, so Group Training Organisation. Again, back to that grassroots level, the apprenticeships, the traineeships is something that I'm very passionate about. Dad was an apprentice carpenter. Mum was an apprentice was a trainee nurse. So again, the healthcare, aged care has only been going for us for a few months. We've just launched a accounting and as well. We've also just launched software and IT, and just actually won our first tender basically for software and IT. So, mate, let's revisit that again in, I guess, in 3 months' time and see obviously what's changed. It's forever moving conversation, but certainly something that I would never shy away from. Like Kerrie said, there's certainly interest to go international, and we're already looking at that at the moment. We're also obviously looking at scaling the business to really become one of those top 5 brands that are synonymous with recruitment globally. And we'll start with Australia, because Australia's home. This is where it all began, and we're all very grateful for the opportunity that the land of opportunity, as I always like to say in Australia. What you get out of it, what you put into it. But I think for me, mate, is being humble, not getting too carried away with it, and treating every day as it comes, and just making sure again that we're treating every assignment as if it was our last, because it's all about quality service. It's all about the deliverability, the candidate experience, and the candidate, I guess, journey along the way is something that we're really passionate about as well. Because let's be honest, that's also, not only has that got the feel good factor, it's just good business, right? It's a good commercial outcome for everyone if we're retaining those candidates, and also the referring people onto us left, right, and centre. So just keeping it real, mate. I guess I'll end on that. Just keeping it real and not losing sight of where we've come from, but also how successful we've been in getting to where we are.
And keep enjoying the collar karma.
Absolutely, collar karma it is.
New hashtag.
New hashtag.
New hashtag, absolutely. Well, wonderful. I am going to hold you to that. I think we'll catch up again in 6 months and see what new exciting things have happened, because I think it's going to be one of those success stories that continues to evolve. As I said, collar karma, you continue doing the right thing by your consultants and by your candidates, the results will come. And I love seeing such amazing innovation happening in our local industry. And so congratulations to all of you. It's phenomenal. Now, everyone out there watching, we have run very much over time, but thank you so much. We are going to do a deep dive into the Collar Group Wellbeing Program as part of the Bounce event coming up. So make sure you get your registrations in. Kerrie, and Emma will be joining us again and going a lot deeper into that. Website, rubberband.com.au/bounce. Make sure you come along. But finally, thank you, Collar Group. It was really, really fun.
Thank you
so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, cheers, mate.
And I will be seeing you in a few weeks at the Bounce event.
Cheers.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.